My teacher is a Nazi. Like, it's not a joke. My legitimate, actual, she is an anti-Jewish, oven-loving Nazi.
You feel like expanding on that, or are we just going to leave it there?
Welcome to the Greatest Noel podcast, folks.
Where we talk about Nazis and teachers.
Nazi teachers. Okay, so you may have clicked on this video for the dashing thumbnail that Matthew will make for King of the Railway, but I'm going to take like 5 seconds here to discuss my opening monologue, because usually Matt has a monologue, but it's not him, it's me this week. So basically, my math teacher is the worst person I've ever met in my entire life, and she is a Nazi, and we always joke that she was a Nazi, previous to the encounter, and you will know what the encounter is in just a second. Previous to the encounter, we always called her a Nazi because she's one of those teachers that does not tolerate talking in any way, shape, or form. She cannot comprehend the fact that teenagers will talk. That's just kind of what we do. It's our thing. But she doesn't understand that fact. And she just, she'll like, it's kind of like Doug from the dog from Up, where it's just like, squirrel! Squirrel! But with instead of squirrel, it's, stop talking.
Yes.
So the third side of this triangle, stop talking! You can go out in the hallway and talk. That's fine with me. But this class is only for people who want A's. Okay.
Is this a guy, or is this a man or a woman?
It's a very large woman.
Good.
She kind of looks like a Teletubby, but with hair.
Ooh, I love the Teletubbies.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, she's very Teletubby. Teletubistic. Yeah.
Teletubuscus.
Okay. Yes. She's very Teletubuscus. So we always sort of joke she was a Nazi because she's very drill sergeant. She's very militaristic. And, the other day, I think this was Monday or Tuesday, we walk into the classroom and she's sitting on the phone, and I didn't really hear what the conversation was, but she kept saying the word Jew over and over and over again, like 4 times. So I'm like, oh yeah, the Jew. Oh yeah, that Jew, man, he's so annoying. Oh yeah, man, that guy. Is he a Jew? Probably, yeah, he always steals my money. Oh yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Did she say any combination of the words Auschwitz, Mein Führer, or swastika?
Swastika. Unfortunately not, but there's a better thing to come. So we were a little concerned. We're walking in the classroom and our geometry teacher is saying that. Then about 25 minutes into the period, she's talking, and then of course she gets interrupted. Can I go to the bathroom? By some kid in the back. And she's like, okay.
Who has James's
recently
voice?
I've been noticing a surge in bathroom dependency. So instead of you guys interrupting me, which she interrupts us all the time, but whatever, she's the teacher. Instead of you guys interrupting me, I'm just gonna have you do this symbol, and she does the Sieg Heil symbol. I swear to God, she holds her right hand up, holds 4 fingers up, and there's a straight elbow. And she goes, in case you need to go to the bathroom, do this. And she doesn't say Sieg Heil, obviously, but she does the Sieg Heil symbol.
Oh, my God.
And the whole class goes silent.
Oh, my God.
And for like 5 seconds, no one talks. It's like the only time in the entire period no one talks. And it's just completely silent. And then... Okay, so anyway, so this triangle here... Stop talking! Stop talking! Okay, so 4 plus 7 is... Stop talking!
Man, I want to move to California and have some Nazi teachers up in here.
She's a freaking Nazi. She's Sieg Heil, she hates Jews, and she's so militaristic.
Should I put the swastika in the thumbnail for this week?
Please do. Oh my God, don't. Please don't.
I thought you said please do for a second. I was about to be like,
do not. Okay, so basically that's the end of my story. I just wanted to tell that. Now we're going to switch
and Subway and lettuce and onions. Also, because that's a monologue too.
Yeah, lettuce and onions, am I right? Yeah. Anyways, Matt.
Welcome back.
What are we going to be talking about today?
We are going to be skipping tweet time for the second week in a row. We're going to hopefully get back to it next week.
We're going to have like the best Okay, no, shit. We can't really do... Can we do tweet time next week, I think? Maybe?
We'll figure it out. We've got a thing planned for next week. It'll be fun.
We do have a very special thing planned next week, and if you know anything about anything, which you probably don't, then you won't figure it out. So, there you go. But we'll probably be doing tweet time. Like, we'll probably spend in 2 or 3 weeks, we'll probably spend the entire episode doing all of the tweets that we missed in the past month. Mm-hmm. So look forward to the tweet time special, The
tweet time special, yes. But in today's episode, guys, we are only going to be We're gonna be. Oh, I'm looking through some of the tweets right now. We got some good ones. But today we're gonna be reviewing King of the Railway. Yay!
And as just in case you didn't, you should check out last week's episode, which was discussing Tail the Brave and how Mattel is.
Oh, my phone's ringing. Sorry. Go ahead.
You're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Well, basically, we're gonna be talking about the surprisingly. I'm saying surprisingly because I hate Tail of the Brave. I realized that last week. Usually I thought I liked it, but until rewatching it last week or the week before that or whatever.
Yeah, you went off
I realized it was fucking awful.
You went off on that
And
movie.
I rewatched King of the Railway for this episode yesterday, I think. Yeah, yesterday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized it's not that bad.
King of the Railway is very bland. It's very forgettable, but it's not bad.
Tail of the Brave is a very painful film to get through because of how much filler. King of the Railway, there's a lot of likable characters in it.
Yeah, like Steven, Sir Robert Normanby.
Steven, Robert Normanby, even Thomas. When Thomas makes his big mistake and he tells Steven, it's not like why the fuck would you do that, you fucking idiot, Thomas? It's like, yeah, I could see why he would do that. It's like actually like, yeah. I mean, it's probably not the best thing to do, but it doesn't feel like a really dumb thing they're just doing so the film can have a plot. It actually kind of worked. Not entirely, but kind of, for the most part, worked for the character. And that was the whole, Thomas telling Steven that he had a job and then just sort of fucking dropping the ball and just leaving. Which wasn't smart, but it was like, yeah, mate, okay, I could see that happening.
Man, I'm just going to say, it's been kind of a slog to get through the CGI movies, just because a lot of them are so forgettable. Most of the model series movies are so bad that you're having fun watching them. They're so bad.
No, Calling All Engines Calling All Engines is really fun to get through.
I can't fucking wait for Calling All Engines.
Calling All Engines is a pain to get through, but it's really fun. I haven't seen the Great Discovery for probably 6 or 7 years.
AKA Welcome Stanley, the movie.
Until Legend of the Lost Treasure came out, that was my favorite not Magic Railroad film, because Magic Railroad is still...
Magic Railroad's my favorite too.
Even though it's so ridiculously terrible, but it's so good in how ridiculously terrible it is. But,
oh, yeah.
The Great Discovery, I'm not looking forward to watching that one because I don't want to find out that it's terrible, because I haven't seen that one since... I probably watched it 2 or 3 times since it came out.
You were there in Robert's stream, though, when we...
Oh, that's true. You're right. I forgot about that.
When we welcome Stanley to that bitch?
We did welcome... You're right. I forgot about that. You're right. Okay.
Exactly. That says all you need to know about the... Oh, but we'll get to that. That's
all right,
not the movie
so we'll get to that when we get to that. But, so Tail of the Brave was a surprise disaster, in my opinion. King of the Railway, there's a lot of bits that are very forgettable, very bland. But here's the thing with that, is that Tail of the Brave, I expected it to be good, and when it came out, I realized it was pretty good, and then when I rewatched it last week, I realized it was fucking awful and boring, and the animation sucked. This one, the only real problem is that the animation sucks.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's about it.
The animation, with that being said, the first special, pretty much the first thing that ARC ever did, was King of the Railway, and it's awful. The Magic Railroad sequences in Thomas the Magic Railroad, like the CG when they're on the Magic Railroad, that computer-generated imagery looks better than King of the Railway, and that film came out 13 years prior.
Yeah. It
is amazing how shit the first year of ARC was.
I will say, I did like that they brought back Jack for this.
Well, I feel like because that was the first character that they brought back in this whole, renaissance of...
Renaissance, I like
that. It's a renaissance of bringing back characters. Jack was the first one because you could tell that Mattel mandated that there was some kind of climactic whatever, and it's like, okay, well, so how are they going to get out of this? How are Steven and Thomas going to get out of this mess? We need like a bulldozer, like a... Can we bring back Jack? Can we please bring back Jack? Please.
We could sell so many toys of these that are inferior to the original Wooden Railway model.
Please. And it's like, Mattel's like, wait, who? And they show, and it's like, oh, I guess, because that's the reason that Jack does nothing in the film except for do that, is because that is what he did. His purpose, the reason that he is put on this earth is to do that, pretty much. Yeah, basically, Jack's purpose in this film is for that one scene to occur, and other than that, he doesn't really do anything. But it's nice. It is nice to see him back, I would say.
Yes, his face got very boxy in this movie. The CGI made his face very boxy. It wasn't noticeable earlier, like in the model series, but his face is...
Well, it wasn't noticeable because it wasn't there. His face was completely round. Even when he was CGI in season 12, he had his...
Oh, you're right.
He's had a CGI round face and a CGI square face.
SpongeBob Squareface.
SpongeBob, what was it? Round pants? What was that? Never mind.
Doodle Bob round trousers.
That's him. Yep. Okay. But actually, yeah, I have a lot to say because I am Vinnie.
Yes, go ahead.
But I'm Vinnie. But Matt, what do you have to say as a very casual Thomas fan about the film?
I liked it. It was good enough. I don't think the animation was as bad as we were joking that it was.
Well, I mean, when they're in the Steamworks and their faces are like
okay,
look
that's
like
true.
They're
You're
drawn
right.
on paper.
You're right about that one.
They're in the Steamworks. Okay. The faces of Ark they got better, but they still had that really strange shading, the very gray, weird coloring to them until The Adventure Begins. That was the first one. They're like, hey, that actually looks like the face exists and is in like the same reality as ours. What do you know?
Yes. One thing that I did like about this movie was that there were no characters that they introduced that they were just like, these characters already exist. What, you don't remember them? No. All these characters had a logical reason for not appearing before. Steven, stuck in a mine. Caitlin and Connor came from the mainland. Millie came back with the Earl.
She was in her shed or whatever.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that one. But like,
she came out of the closet to see the Earl.
That's hot. All of these characters have a reason for not appearing before. They're not just like, what? You don't remember Victor? Well, that's on you, man. Like,
that is kind of how all the other characters are. All these characters, for the most part, are introduced. Mm-hmm. But again, this film is better. And a lot of people think, like I said, Tale of the Brave is superior or whatever. King of the Railway is likably bland. Mm-hmm. It's pretty good, but with that being said, it still does succumb to the unnecessary characters that don't do anything to the plot. It comes to the huge chunk of the film that really does nothing to do. But
it kind of comes to a screeching halt.
With that being said, Tale of the Brave suffers way more because of that huge chunk where nothing happens. King of the Railway, it's like, we're going to have a couple scenes focusing on what Spencer is doing, I guess. And then we're going to just sort of have a thing with Percy, and then James and Thomas, and then, okay, here's Steven, now the plot's going to go going.
I did like that they introduced a form of Stevenson's rocket in this movie. I dug that.
That is, no, because they gave him a whole background. Okay, also, the opening scene is really bad, but the opening credits the pre-credit scene.
Yeah.
The opening credits and the book, I'd say actually
the book stuff is cool.
Minus that little weird scene at Brendam Docks with Thomas and Percy and Cranky. Mm-hmm. If you cut that out and just started with the opening credits, I'd say the first 7 or 8 minutes of this film, story-wise, in terms of characters, lines, things that happen, pacing, it's pretty much flawless.
Yeah, the first 7 or
8 minutes, there was never a point where I was like, oh, great, here we go. The transition to, nowadays it's railway engines that charge about the island instead of shining knights. And I was like, oh, that's a clever transition. I think it really worked. And until about Millie is introduced, until like 7 or 8 minutes into the movie when Millie's introduced, it's pretty much flawless in terms of the story. Animation, shit. But the story and the lines the characters say, and like I love when Percy shows up and Gordon's just like, "Been and done, Percy, been and done," and he just puffs away. And Percy just left. I was like, "What the fuck's happening?"
Good Gordon impression. I like Sir Robert's introduction. It was very good. I dug that.
Ooh, splendid body! Oh, I wouldn't want to ruin the fun. Oh yes. And Tom's like, "What? What?"
I can't remember.
I honestly think that's probably the best character introduction we've had. Sailor John was like kind of mysterious and whatever, and then all the other characters like, "Hi, I'm Ryan, I'm Reg, I'm Millie, I'm Connor, I'm Connor and Caitlin, blah blah blah."
You're Connor and Caitlin?
I'm both Connor and Caitlin, you see.
Classic case of split personality disorder right
there.
Oh
yes, we're schizophrenic.
Very tragic.
Don't sound like this because we're both Irish, actually. I'm Connor and I'm Caitlin.
That was not Irish at all.
I'm Connor. No, I can't do it.
I'm Connor. You gotta pronounce the I's with O's at the beginning. I'm Connor. Was this Winston's first appearance? I can't remember if this movie was Winston.
That's Blue Mountain.
Blue Mountain. That's the next one we're doing.
Yeah, next episode is Blue Mountain Mystery because we're doing these episodes in reverse order of release date. But yeah, there's a lot of things that feel like it could there's very rarely a point where I'm like, oh god, why didn't they do this? That's so stupid. The this engine wouldn't say that. The big huge, not just like kind of lazy, but like the thing that's like, oh, why do you do that? Why would you say that? This character wouldn't do that. This wouldn't happen. Is they know that Steven went to the Blue Mountain Quarry, and nobody asks Skarloey, and Skarloey told him exactly where to go. The old mine near Ulfstead. He is the one that knows. Not only that, but Rhaenyra and Luke were both there, and they don't tell them anything, freaking anything. And it's like, yeah, we're the only people that know. But what did you do?
What did you do? Yeah, exactly. This was something I took issue with last week, but it's something that I'm gonna say this week. Last week I said that just about all the merchandise that came out of Tale of the Brave was real trash. This week I can safely say that only half the merchandise that came out of King of the Railway was trash.
Millie is a good model. Connor and Caitlin are pretty cool wooden railway models, I have to say.
Steven's castle coaches are nice.
Steven's castle coaches will be forever used by all wooden railway users as just background coaches because they're so universally applicable. Please make more coaches, Mattel.
Bless up. And I actually like the castle crane. I don't have it, but I like it from what I've seen of it. I like it. I've heard the magnet is shitty.
It looks pretty shit, and it has nothing to do with the film, and it's not very realistic. Yeah.
All right, but I like it, and that's what matters.
Now, the aquarium cars, those are realistic.
Yeah, that's what matters. But like,
so realistic that Matt's nose turned into a machine gun when he said that.
I had to clear my nose.
Semi-automatic.
My bad. But no, what I didn't like about the merchandise was like the shitty wooden railway castle set. That thing kind of sucks.
Do you have that?
I don't have it, but
I do.
Is it bad?
It is actually not as bad as people make it out to be.
Really?
I mean, there is plastic. That was like the first
Shocker.
big Mattel set. But for what it is, it's really cool, I think. Like, if you have it, like I've had it for 2 or 3 years, and when I make a big layout or whatever, and I have like people over whenever, and like, yeah, here's my Thomas stuff, whatever, and they're like, the first thing they say usually, besides what the fuck are you doing with this Thomas Choo Choo Train stuff, is, wow, that is a cool castle.
The thing that bothers me...
The first thing they notice is always Ulfstead Castle. That's always like the centerpiece of the layout.
The thing that bothers me about Ulfstead Castle is that it looks like it's just like a standee. It's just like a piece of wood being held up.
Because it is.
Okay.
I mean, if you're looking at the castle in the film, there is no way in hell that they would actually make it of that size. They have to make something that is big but can be stored easily. It has to be a plank of wood with plastic that can be folded up, and it's got some cool images on it. There's literally no other economic way they could do that.
Economics, I have a A minus in that class.
Congratulations.
I'm smart. What do you think about the Treasure at the Mine figure 8 set?
Looks kind of pointless.
Yeah, I like the mine part, and I don't like every other part, including the generic.
All right, so merchandise, wooden railway, blah 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 blah. What else about the film? I'm trying to think here. Yeah, so the animation for the most... Actually, okay, the faces on the engines are the biggest issue, and the physics that the engines have. Like, when Percy sees... When Percy sees the suit of armor being lifted out of the crate for the first time, and he's like, a robot, a monster, whatever, the scrap monster, bah! And
the engines even know what robots are.
He shoots away like a Chuggington character.
Oh, God.
Like, there's no, like,
oh
no. It's like, it's like, what the fuck?
Oh, man.
Whenever the characters react like that, I always wonder, like, okay, so So you're telling me that like the driver has like his hand on the throttle, waiting for like his engine to say something scary. It's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go away now. In the sheds when Spencer's there and he's like, I'm the fastest engine on soda. Look at me, I'm faster than you, Gordon, because I'm streamlined. And he like sort of puffs forward again like a Chuggington character. And it's like, so you're telling me that the driver and fireman are just sitting there, and like before the other engines came to the shed, Spencer like had a little talk with them, like, okay, so I'm gonna say,
I'm gonna make a sick diss.
When I say my cue line, I'm streamlined. You're gonna puff me forward about 10, 15 feet, and then just stop right there and do a little swerve so I can go streamlined. And he's like, oh yes, of course, Spencer, whatever your name is.
We're gonna coordinate a sick diss.
Yeah, exactly. And so when he said, I'm streamlined, and he puffs forward like 5-10 feet. And it's like, the driver and fireman are just sitting there, just in the cab. Did he say the thing? Did he say the thing? Yeah, he said, go, say the line, go, move.
If they mess it up, he'd be like...
No, stop, put on the brakes.
If he messed it up...
that with a real steam engine, he'd be like slowly puffing out of the shed, and then you wouldn't be able to stop him for like half a mile.
Yeah. If the driver's messed it up, do you think Spencer would have to repeat his line? I'm streamlined.
Oh, streamlined. Oh, wait, no, go back. Wait, just wait, hold on, Gordon. Just 1 second. Me. I'm Oh, wait, what's my line? Streamline? Streamline, not. Okay. Right.
Or no, it's even like if the driver and fireman messed it up, I'm streamlined. Nothing. I said I'm stream. There we go.
And then he like rockets out of the shed and crashes into the turntable well.
I think the driver and the fireman partied a little too hard in the signal box last night.
Oh yeah. No, but like the first 10 or 11 minutes, it's like, oh, I guess. Like I said earlier, I guess Spencer is the main character now, because we're going to follow Spencer at the docks, and then Spencer at the Blue Mountain Quarry, and then, oh, wait. Like it doesn't really find its footing until Steven is revealed at the Steamworks. You don't really know who the main character is, because, like, okay, we're going to follow Thomas. No, we're going to follow Spencer now for a while. No, we're going to follow Percy. Oh, no, we're back with Thomas and James and Percy, and then with the Earl, and then, Steven! Okay, we're gonna Steven now, right, okay. So it takes a while to find its footing, but eventually you do have the Steven and Thomas are the two main characters, so it fits, but it takes a little while to get there, unlike Tale the Brave, which never gets there.
Can we also acknowledge that the Jack's, like, stunt at the end of the movie, like, holding up the bridge so that Thomas and Steven can go over, is exactly the same shit he does in A Friend in Need?
That was obviously the reference that Brenner was making.
Was it supposed to be a reference? I don't know. I just thought he was copying it.
I'm pretty sure they did it more or less shot for shot, especially with like the close up of his straining face,
of his constipated face,
of his post Chipotle face.
Ooh, his tasty E. coli.
Chipotle, yeah.
Congratulations, you just made the worst pun ever.
Huzzah! Okay. Huzzah. Let's see, what else? Yeah, so like I said, the narrative isn't really clear until about 15 minutes in or so when they do get Steven. And when that is, you realize that both the Earl and Steven are the most interesting
for sure,
movies
yeah.
we have had since, God, like, ever? Like, the first new characters we had like Cranky and Derek and Old Slow Coach and the Lories, and then we got into the really interesting, complex character of Lady.
Oh.
She had just so much depth.
For sure.
And then Harvey's just like, yeah, I'm sad, and Salty's, oh, I'm a pirate! And then Elizabeth's, oh, I'm English! And Jack's, oh, I'm an unexperienced!
Yup.
And you had all the pack characters, and then, you know, you get Neville and Molly.
Is every new character Donald Duck? Is that
you
it?
Think Donald Duck goes...
Who does? There's definitely a Disney character that does that. Fine. Oh, let me change that. Is every new character underwater? We'll go with that one.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. But basically, I can just go casually from one tone to the other, just like that. It's really simple.
It's all good.
Yeah. But basically, I think this film, it's still not as good as Legend of the Lost Treasure. But and like I said, it does succumb to a lot of the Brenner things that are major issues, and I ranted about them never ending last episode, talking about the new characters introduced that do absolutely nothing and are fleshed out later in the TV show, but this is a movie, and you need to develop your characters, and the plot that has that 20-minute thing. Luckily, like I said, in this film, the first 7 minutes or so are pretty good, and then it just sort of falls into the pit of filler. But the filler, it doesn't really, it's not a huge part of the film. Most of the film is devoted to Stephen and Thomas, and then searching for Stephen. You get Stephen, and it all makes sense in terms of the castle being restored right in time, right in nick of time to find Stephen and the crown. It all comes together. At the end of the film, you feel satisfied. For the most part, you feel satisfied. Tale of the Brave, it's like, yep. I have so many questions. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? What the fuck is... just get it over with. Tale of the Brave is so unfulfilling. This one, it is boring at parts. The animation is the worst we have ever had for Thomas. Hopefully, we don't, Arc doesn't permanently go bankrupt, or, Hit doesn't bail them out and we have to, whatever. Hopefully,
the
animation
will keep. Was pretty choppy.
Hopefully, we will stay with Arc, and if not, I sincerely hope that we will not go back, because King of the Railway. I remember when Blue Mountain Mystery wrapped up, we heard that Nitrogen was leaving, and we saw a couple months later the trailer for King of the Railway, and it was half finished animation. And then we saw these weird we saw these weird human characters. Who's this Earl? Who's Steven? Like Stevenson's Rock? Okay, this could be good. We were all very skeptical. And I remember when it came out and everyone had a really positive reaction to it. And Tale of the Brave was even more positive. And Legend of the Lost Treasure was even more positive. And The Great Race is...
lukewarm.
Yeah. But then when you're looking back at... Most people bash King of the Railway for... numerous reasons, and I'd say the majority of them are justified. The majority. But rewatching it, after watching Tale of the Brave, which is so boring. Nothing.
You really don't like Tale of the Brave, do you?
I despise... The beginning is good, the end is good. There's like 45 minutes of the 60-minute film that are just really nothing of substance. Very, very little substance, except for the good bash of Sharon Miller with the whole, what do you have a balloon on a flatbed? Oh, that's ridiculous. No.
Or like why do you need two engines to take one flatbed or something? Wasn't it something like that?
Or no, they did that in King of the Railway, where it's like, why do you need 3 engines to pull one flatbed, sir? Okay, James, you don't have to come. Wait, no, don't come back. That was great. That was one of the best character moments in the film. That was up there with Percy in The Great Race. Wait, how did you do that with your voice, Philip?
Yeah,
that's
or like in Legend of the Lost Treasure, where Skiff's singing Deo Deo.
What? I always forget about that. That's so bizarre.
Daylight come and
we have to go.
All right, Skiff. I think that's my favorite part of the movie, just because Skiff's singing is so bad.
Well, I mean, sea shanties, there's not a whole lot of tuning forks out there.
Daylight come and we've got to go home.
But King of the Railway as a whole is very clunky, and the animation sucks. Just really, really sucks. But it's not there's never a point when you're like, Percy, what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my god, I hate you, Thomas. Oh my god, James, you're such a dick. Why would you do that? All the characters fit. All the new characters, you never hate any of the new characters. Mm-hmm. It's either you really, really like them, or it's like, oh wait, Connor and Caitlin, you're like I remember it was like 45 minutes in the movie or something, and Connor and Caitlin show up, and you're like, you genuinely forgot they were in the film. I was watching it, and I was relatively sucked into what was going on, and you kind of forgot they were even in the film, and it's like, oh yeah, they're in this movie. I forgot about that. Yeah, and what do you do exactly? You show up, and then you appear in a little Searching Everywhere song, and then
make Gordon jelly.
That's about it. Although, again, another really good character moment. The whole subplot about Gordon and Spencer racing, and then Connor and Caitlin show up. Care to race? No, it's preposterous. No, we'd never race. No, that's child's play. No. again, really another really funny moment. Brenner is really good at getting those little character moments that really fit. And other than that,
because he's actually a good writer.
He's a pretty good writer when he's not given the, all right, so at the end we got to have Thomas jump the bridge. At the end we got to have the bridge collapse and then Jack has to save it. At the end we got to have Cranky hook onto the bridge. At the end we got to have Sailor John chasing blah blah. At the end we got to have Gordon explode, but not really.
We got to have Duncan explode for Christmas.
What?
Shout out to the two of you that understand that reference.
Wait, what?
There was like a leaked episode, like a quote leaked episode list a while back for like back when season 20 was about to air, and it's like
season 20 is about to air like right now. It's still
fine. Back when season 18, I don't watch the TV show. Back when season 18 was about to air, and it was like a list of really stupid, outrageous titles, like Thomas versus Diesel 10, Duncan explodes for Christmas. Millie jumps the bridge, something like that.
Millie jumps the bridge. Little did we know that a year later that would happen with another blue tank engine.
But yeah, that was the thing, and people were like, "Guys, do you think this is real?" And we're like, "There's an episode called Duncan Explodes for Christmas. I wouldn't take it too seriously." And then I later made a Sudrey and Tales episode named Duncan Explodes for Christmas. It was a good time.
See, that's where I heard it. I thought you made something related to that. But with that being said, I think we've summed up our views on this film.
Yes.
Yes. With that being said, I got shit to do. I'm going to LA to see Danny Elfman and the cast of The Nightmare Before Christmas perform the songs from said film at the Hollywood Bowl.
Take me with you.
It's going to be really cool this Saturday night.
Ask them if they can play the dubstep remix of This Is Halloween.
That's not going to happen, no.
Yes,
no.
It should.
But I got to go packed for that because we're going to drive down to L.A. and we got to leave.
And I'm fucking hungry, so I need some food.
Yeah, but with that being said, this is a shorter episode of Grease Snow Podcast, but thank you for listening.
It's Friday somewhere.
King of the Rail. Yeah, it's Friday somewhere, including right now where we are.
Depends on how long it takes me to upload this bitch.
Yeah, yeah. But thank you for listening, and don't go to school because your teacher's a Nazi.
See you next week for our special little thing.
See you guys!